Hello Capricorn, Elsie here to do a reading. It is a bonus reading. Cappies, I'm really sorry, but I ran out of time last week to give you your bonus read. And these are always given with gratitude. And I just want to say thank you for the ways you've been loving on the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your clicks and views. Thank you for your hypes. Whatever you do when you're here, being in the comments, it all helps so much. Capricorn, this is a bonus read for whenever it may resonate for you. So if you are a Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter sign in Capricorn, something here might resonate with you. And if it doesn't, remember, it's just entertainment purposes, right? Let's find out what's going on for you, Capricorn. Thank you for all the ways you love me on this channel. Tell me about Cappies, my earthly cousins. Tell me about Capricorn. We've got the Four of Wands. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Are you participating in some sort of celebratory time? Maybe somebody's getting married. Maybe you're going to the next level. It feels like you're investing in something. Maybe you're buying a house here. We have the Five of Swords, but you're kind of up in your head about it here. There is some sort of fundamental difference. You might have a difference that you want to pay and they want you to pay more. It might be a difference in price. It does feel like it could be an invitation, or if this is buying a house, you don't like the price. It feels like you do want to invest in this. This could be a celebration at someone else's home. So maybe you get an invitation, right? Through the mail, possibly. It could be a wedding, a backyard wedding, or something that is going on that is celebratory with the family or at someone's home. Five of Swords is fundamental differences. It feels like if it's a fundamental difference, which means, I don't know, I don't really agree with the whole situation. I don't agree with who's on the guest list. Like, it could be something like that. Maybe you have a moral split in terms of who might be there. Maybe you don't like the guest list. It feels like you do want to invest. Maybe you send a gift rather than showing up. Tell me more about Capricorn. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. But first, they got to get you out your house. If you can get Capricorn out their house, you're good. We've got the Death card. And we've got the Knight of Cups. This feels like, but I stopped talking to that person a long time ago. Why are they calling me now? It feels like there was a parting of ways because of fundamental differences, because of an argument or a fight. We could not agree on something. And I feel like you've been up in your head about it ever since. I do feel we moved on. Look, Death is holding a sword, right? And then we have Five Swords here. So six moved on. It feels like it was too chaotic to keep this friendship, this love ship, whatever kind of ship it was. The Six of Pentacles is in the reverse. And ever since that time, it feels like you've been breadcrumbed, or you have been breadcrumbing someone else. The Six of Pentacles is, I gave you everything and you gave me nothing back. So I'm going to say that's probably from your side, Capricorn, because you're the overgiver. You're the person who wants to make sure that everybody in the room has what they need. Even if you're at a house party, you're like, here, have some of this, here, have some of that. Like, I feel like you're the person who makes sure that everybody in the room has what they need. You're the best host, right? Or hostess. So, the Death card here tells me something is changing about the way you feel about a situation that I think went sideways. It does feel like the Knight of Cups here tells me that possibly the reason that we were disagreeing on something, but look, it's a moral value, or it's something that you would never, ever, ever agree to, right? Something that is possibly just without the realm of your thought pattern. If somebody said, what if I told you this? You're like, it's always going to be 100% no. It's that thing. It feels like here that there has been a change of mind. Somebody has changed their mind. Maybe they've crossed over the line and decided that maybe there is some merit in what you were saying, or your thought patterns. It feels like the Knight of Cups tells me that it almost feels as though, I think that you've always seen the potential in maybe reconnecting to somebody here. But I think that the thought that's in the back of your mind, Capricorn, is, but I'm always the one who's the overgiver. They never return the favor. They never, I say, yeah, don't worry, I'll cover your meal this time. They never do it back. Like, it feels like you don't get any reciprocal energy from someone here. It could be the person who sends the invitation. It could be the person that owns the house. Maybe, let's go to the part where maybe you're buying a house. It feels like you really love it. It feels like that they've got to lower the price, or it's not for you. The Death card is here. Something's got to change. Something has to transform. The way you think about the Ace of Pentacles, not you, but the other person, the way they think about the Ace of Pentacles has to change, because they're not giving you enough for whatever it is that you're paying for. So the Knight of Cups is here, and it could be something that's romantic. It feels like if it feels like somebody slowly backed away, or you did. It feels like you kept texting, you kept saying hi, and this could be a friendship, right? This could be a friendship that was very deep, that was emotional. This could be a love ship, maybe it was romantic. But it feels like it eventually came to an end, and it was probably because of fundamental differences. It feels like you're a person who gives, and I don't think you give to expect in return. Maybe some of you do, and I'm not telling you shouldn't. But I feel like that somebody here is like, look, I gave you everything. I gave you so much. I gave you attention. I gave you kindness, the kindness of my heart energy, or I gave you romantic love. And it feels like that something here had to end because we were way too different. We realized that there was fundamental differences here that we could not come to a reasonable assessment about here. Let's talk about the house. If this is going to the next level financially for some of you, this could also be, to me, the Four of Wands is always going to the next level of something, the next level of the relationship. In fact, here it could be the next level of your pay grade, next level of your career. It could be something like that. Let's talk about this first. We've got the Justice card. We've got the Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. It feels like the first answer may have been no. So maybe you've tried this before and it didn't work. Maybe you didn't have enough money and you couldn't buy the house. Maybe you didn't have enough for a down payment, or maybe you did, but maybe your debt to your debt ratio was too high. It feels like now you're getting justice, whereby you used to be heartbroken or disappointed or frustrated at the situation. It feels like you've been building since this time. So I'm going to say the Three of Pentacles tells me that now somebody is willing to collaborate or cooperate with you, and that's farther than you got before. It feels like you are going to the next level of something, my friend. It is pentacle related. It's going to give you stability. I feel like you've been holding on to hope, like with the Death grip here, Four of Pentacles, hoping that something was going to change. And this can also mean saving money. Four of Pentacles is like stacking away money, holding back from spending, that kind of thing. So it does feel like that you might be expecting to be disappointed or heartbroken over it, but I think justice prevails. I feel as though something here is going to come to a place where it's even, honest. It feels like something is going to be restored, and it feels like the respect that you receive feels like something like that. It feels like now you're in a way different position financially, maybe energetically, but it feels like now you do have enough because you have been saving money. It feels like you do have enough education. They trust you enough. You've got enough time in, so it feels like you're going to the next level of something. Maybe you're going to be a teacher. Maybe you're getting tenure. It feels like that Hierophant being here tells me that you've been really careful at slowly and loyally building some sort of structure. And I think that it's for the purpose of something. So for some of you, it's going to be going to the next level of some sort of job. It's like somebody's been watching you work and they think that it's worth it to hire you, because I feel like you're the person who's going to bring everything. You're going to restore the department back to a healthy place. I feel like if this is the case, it feels like it's offered to you. If it's the job or the house thing, it's like you're offered the mortgage, you're offered the house, like your whatever your offering for the house is accepted. It feels like the Six of Pentacles tells me you don't have to give a whole lot. It's almost like they come to you and they say, look, I know that we didn't give you enough back there, but it's time here to repay you, restore your faith here. Okay, let's go back to, I feel like there is someone here that it feels like there is a fundamental difference that we had. It feels like something ended here. But I also feel like someone has changed how they think about that thing. They changed how they feel about that thing. That thing could be you. All right, let's find out the Five of Swords. We've got the Seven of Wands, Queen of Cups, and the Six of Cups. It feels like somebody wasn't ready when you were ready. It almost feels like somebody was finding fault with the situation, so they had an excuse not to get closer. It feels like the Queen of Cups being here tells me that somebody now realizes as they look back, Six of Cups, that they really had these tough boundaries in place. They blocked you, or they were blocking you, or they were blocking their emotions. It feels like somebody was feeling incredibly and deeply for you, but it feels as though they couldn't. It's like there was a fence between them and their emotions because the Seven of Wands is here. It feels like now they're going to stand up with their emotions and say, look, I've had a chance to think this over. Nostalgia, Six of Cups. I really have had a chance to think this over about that thing that we ended up parting ways over. I don't really think it's that important. I do see your point. And it feels like somebody here is going to show you emotion. They're finally going to show you the emotion, and I think they were fighting you with wands and swords before. And wands and swords for me is sharp tongue. It's also, I said something that I probably shouldn't have that caused an argument. Tell me about the Death card. What has changed here? We've got the Two of Swords. Yep, somebody came to a place in their life where they realized that they were keeping everything out. Also, I feel like somebody released something here because the full moon is above the person in the Two of Swords for a reason. I think somebody has been searching their intuition. It feels like they have been ending relationships all over the place. Look, people think that I have a problem with one person, and sometimes that's the truth, that you just have the problem with the one person. But if it's problem with the one person and you find that you're alone and that the same thing keeps happening over and over, you might want to look back and say, maybe it was me. The Two of Swords is here. It's like this person was shut off. They were shut down. They were feeling forced to make a decision to change their mind, and they thought what was being said to them was a lie. We've got 5 and 2 swords is 7. They didn't believe the information that was coming out of your mouth or the people around them. The Two of Swords tells me that somebody here blocked themselves off from their emotion. Look, somebody here is waist deep in water, but they got the 2 swords up. Because if they did believe you, they would have to change their mind. And I feel like we're dealing with somebody who's probably a fixed sign. Fixed signs can change their minds, but it takes them a really long time, and you got to bring them a whole boatload of data before they're going to change their minds. They need to change their minds based on truth, honesty, and analytics. So we have the Two of Swords, and I feel like that's over. Somebody here is not feeling defensive anymore. They're not feeling like they're blocked. They're actually ready to take the blindfold off and see something for what it actually is, and maybe they have already seen it for what it actually is. Yeah, they sure have. Somebody here has actually seen it from your position, and it's like, gosh, I'm so wrong. I'm sorry. Like, it does feel like an apology is to follow. An apology could be coming from the Knight of Cups energy, right? The soft sort of Piscean energy. Isn't always soft, especially if it shows up in a masculine sort of way, in a masculine energy. But even though this is soft energy, this is a feminine energy, but it feels like feminine energy comes in to soften a harder energy is what it feels like. So Two of Swords, the Sun, and we've got the Two of Wands. Can we make a plan to make this work? It does feel like somebody is making decisions. Somebody here, I feel, with the Death card and the Sun, has had some sort of an awakening. So you could have been dealing with a hard head, somebody who couldn't see it the way you did, somebody who you saw a lot of potential in loving, whether it's platonic love or romantic love. You really saw the potential in all of this, but when they decided that they were going to plant their feet in the sand and never change, then that's when you had to walk away and change your plan. But I feel like now this person is more adventurous. They're willing to be flexible in how they think. Aries energy. They're willing to be a little bit more flexible in how they think. I feel like the data that they required, because it's next to the Two of Swords, has arrived, and now they have great clarity. So I feel like we're mending a friendship. We're mending maybe something that started, and then, we found the fundamental difference. Now we got apart. It could be something romantic that way, and now we're coming back together, and this person is like, you know what, I kind of see it the way you were seeing it now makes sense. Tell me about the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups, because I feel like you were over giving or giving and giving and giving emotion, kindness, love, romance. You were offering it over and over, and they were not returning it. So we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, 10 of Swords. I feel like you were like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why do I keep trying to give it to this person and they're not taking it? They don't deserve it, Capricorn, or didn't deserve it. So I feel like you did release it, and it was painful. And I think it felt, the way they were treating you, like you giving them every chance, forgiving them for whatever. It feels like you kept trying to keep the line of communication open. But I think eventually you started seeing that in the future, if this is going to be how it's going to be, then I'm not interested. So I think the Ten of Swords is the painful decision of letting it go, just releasing it. The Devil energy is here. This became really toxic and repetitive and obsessive. And I think that you're not about it. That's not what you wanted to do, Capricorn. It could be a friendship, right? Somebody you keep trying to reach over and over again, but because you have a fundamental difference over something, that there is a place where you just have to say, look, I've just got to back away then, because I'm going to stop trying if you're not trying. We do have the Strength card, we have the Star, and we have the Five of Cups. That's what I was saying. Look, I feel like you were regretful. You were probably sad. You were wishing that that it didn't work out the way that it did. But I think that you chose to save yourself. You chose, you know, they say when you're in the airplane that's going down, put on your air first before you help anyone else around you. Because I feel like you decided that instead of being sad, instead of being regretful and sad emotionally, that it's time for you to heal yourself. You needed to get the balance of your emotions. I think that you found the courage to do that, but I really do feel that the only way you could do that was by backing away. And sometimes that's the truth, that you got to stop chasing it. And then when you stop chasing it, it arrives, right? Any more advice? Any more advice here for Capricorn? We do have the Four of Pentacles. We're talking about it here. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune is here with the Hierophant energy. You know what I feel like? It feels like the spotlight is on sort of this this commitment that you're making. Whether this is a romantic commitment, a friendship commitment, or a commitment to buy a home or go to the next level of something, it feels like you're being made the leader. So I almost feel like, Capricorn, you're the person who's standing there and saying, look, I never left. I never left. I'm loyal. I was just waiting for you to see the potential in the situation, and then I was willing to change my mind too, because the Wheel of Fortune is right here next to the Hierophant. So you could have been dealing with somebody who was a Taurus, somebody who had a hard time changing their mind, changing their ways, changing their position. It feels like somebody blocked you, or they were holding back, or decided that, nope, this is not the thing I want to do with my time. Maybe you began to hold back or block them. I feel like you stopped giving energy, time, effort to the situation. The Wheel of Fortune is here. When the Wheel of Fortune is here, we start to see the potential in destiny. Right? That maybe it is the destined route, that we are together, we are romantic, we are friends. We really have to try and heal, think out of the box in ways that we can heal the situation so we can get back to where we were. I think somebody is making a really big commitment financially, if we're talking about the house or going to the next level of the job or the career or buying the home. The Hierophant is a serious commitment about a structure. I really love structure, right? Something here is about to change, and I feel like it's because it's with the Four of Pentacles that it changes. It changes. Somebody is no longer holding back. It expands everything. And when destiny shows up, it feels like the Wheel of Fortune turns into a very fortunate situation. And the fact that you didn't budge on offering more to the employer, offering more for the house, offering more, trying to get into a bidding war, I feel works in your favor. Yep, because you are the damn magician. I can't even. Yeah, I feel like you're the person who realized, look, I'm the one who's got all the skills and the resources. I don't have to beg anybody for attention, time, effort, money, a house, going to the next level, getting the promotion. I don't have to beg anybody. I know what my worth is. And I also know the ball's in my court. Eventually you're going to realize it. Maybe it might be at the end of the path, but eventually you're going to realize that I'm the magician and I always get what I want. But it's not from chasing it. It's from attracting it. I love that. Yeah, I feel like there was a time when you were on the outside looking in and trapped in your mind about, I'm not enough. I don't have enough. It feels like lack, right? Maybe you really didn't have enough money to put a down payment on the house. Maybe you didn't have enough schooling, time, effort, or energy to get the promotion. But it feels like something here is, it almost feels like the person who walks away from the victory straight-faced. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. And then you get on the other side of the door and you start jumping up and down and celebrating on your own, not really showing anybody. It's this stoic face, right? Yeah. It's a rags to riches story, my friend. I'm going to leave this right here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, I would really love if you would be in the comments, give it a thumbs up. That's really, it pushes it back to the algorithm, and that's how we build this tribe. And you guys have been doing a great job. Thank you so much, Capricorn. I will see you back with the sneak peek. And you take care of you, and I'll take care of me. We'll meet back here later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.